Hello and welcome to Council Catch Up here on WSTO TV. I'm Derek Westby, your host. Just a reminder, WSTO TV is on TDS channel 981 in HD, on Spectrum channel 981, on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV devices, on your Android and iOS devices, as well as on YouTube and Facebook. Today we are here to talk about the March 26, 2024 City Council meeting, and I'm here with Mayor Swadley. Welcome.
Morning.
So we had the call to order, public comment period, all the normal stuff at the beginning of the meeting. And then we get to the first item under old business, Ordinance 5 of 2024, to amend Section 70-185. What is that and what does that mean?
We've been reviewing our downtown parking ordinances for the last several months. And some of the ordinances are outdated. They still refer to City Hall being at the Opera House and the Public Works being down on 4th Street. In this particular ordinance, we discovered that in a couple of our municipal lots at the Opera House, at City Hall, and near the police station, we didn't have an ordinance or have it posted for no parking for 48 hours, which is pretty typical in our streets and in our parking lots. We certainly want to encourage people to be able to park downtown, but really not to store vehicles. So we like to see them move in and out on a daily basis, especially when there's snow emergencies.
All right. Under new business, Resolution 38 of 2024 was to authorize and direct the proper city officials to approve the comprehensive outdoor recreation plan for 2024 through 2028. What is the CORP and what does it do?
So the CORP plan is something that we do every 5 years, and we usually contract out with a landscape architect. And in this particular plan, we work with Emily Soderberg from MSA. And what they do is they go through and do an inventory of what is going on in our parks. They identify the equipment that's in there, opportunities for upgrades, ADA requirements that we need to meet. And this plan is required every 5 years in order for us to be eligible to secure state and federal grants.
Okay. Item number 8, Resolution 39, talks about retirement for fire and EMS volunteers.
So as Finance Director Ellinger was going through some reporting, he discovered that we inadvertently had not been collecting or paying WRS payments, Wisconsin Retirement System payments for our employees that are both full-time employees and they work as volunteers or paid on call for fire and EMS. So we work through with our attorneys and with the Wisconsin Retirement System to determine what those amounts should have been paid in over the years, plus the interest accrued, because that money would have been invested in making money in the account. And basically we came up with $118,000 that we basically have to pay into the system. And we had conversations about whether or not it would be appropriate to go back and have the employees pay their share, and whether or not the state law allowed us to do that. And what we determined is that it would just be cleaner if the city just pays their share. Some of the employees are still working here. Some of them have retired. There's actually some that are deceased. And we just didn't really feel that it would be a very good process and fair to those folks that inadvertently didn't know that they should have been paying into the account. So we're clean and we're moving forward.
All right. Resolution 40 is the First Amendment to Payment for Municipal Services Agreement. What is that and what does that mean? That's item number 9.
The Payment for Municipal Services Agreement went through the Finance Committee, and we have all sorts of agreements that we use for different vendors, and this is just part of all that. And we have reimbursements not only with our vendors but with our developers as well for the services that we perform.
All right. Items number 10, 11, and 12 all talk about the restructure of fire and EMS into one department. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we've been talking about this since last year during the budget process about basically combining the fire and EMS management team. And I'm pleased to announce that Chief Rip will be the EMS / fire chief, and he's going to oversee both departments. And under the restructure, he'll have multiple direct reports to him. We wanted to do this in a way where we could utilize the talent that we've had and the experience that we have in the departments, and really just have one person be the head of both as we look to hire full-time fire / advanced EMT people. We just felt that would be appropriate that if we're going to have full-time people that are working in both departments, that they have one supervisor to answer to, and Chief Rip is certified to do both. He's been doing fire and EMS for many years.
All right. Item number 13, Resolution 44, bid award for project number S11-23F for a multi-year underground electric installation.
So this came through Stoughton Utilities and the Finance Committee, and they basically are bidding out a lot of the underground work, the electrical work, and it's been several years since they bid out, and the current vendor that we use has been good, and they certainly submitted a bid, but we had a bid that came in lower from another firm that's actually bigger, so we think they have more horsepower, which will really be beneficial to Stoughton Utilities in the city because of the number of projects that we're working on right now. There is some opportunities within the contract for extensions or terminations if necessary, and for Stoughton Utilities to do some of that work in-house if they have the capacity to do it.
All right. Resolution 45 is removing certain conditions from Resolution 138 of 2023 relating to certified survey maps for the STI development.
Yeah, so basically there's some engineering that's still being completed on a portion of the stormwater pond that's going to be shared by Stoughton Trailers and also the Department of Transportation for the Highway 51 improvements. And we had a deadline of April 1st that we needed to meet in order to have a developer's agreement signed and delivered. And there was one portion in there related to the stormwater pond that was in the developer's agreement that we're not quite complete with the engineering. We're hoping to have that done in the next few days. In order to make sure that we can meet the deadline, we pulled that portion out of the developer's agreement, but there's still a requirement for them to, STI, to do that work.
All right. And then item 15, Resolution 46, a financial agreement between the state of Wisconsin and the city of Stoughton for costs related to the reconstruction of 51 from 5th Street to Harrison. What is that? What are they planning on doing, and why is the city responsible for funding?
So as part of the Highway 51 corridor project, which will run basically from the interstate at Coachman's all the way to McFarland, there's different phases and segment that's going to be completed as part of this. Beginning next year, the section from 5th Street to Spring Road will begin. And this particular section here, they're trying to get the design and engineering complete. Right now it's programmed or scheduled for 2029. There is an opportunity if the DOT comes up with some funding before that to move that schedule up by 2 years. So they're really trying to make sure that they have all the design and engineering completed. As part of these projects, the city has to share some of the costs for the engineering and then some of the improvements that are going to be made, and it's typically some lighting and maybe some sidewalk work and those types of things. It's a fairly small percentage, but it's still money that we need to budget for, and we really just have to have agreements in place. So if the DOT is ready to start the project as early as 2027 in our downtown, we have everything ready to proceed with that. The other thing we've been doing in preparation of that, because we know it'll be an impact to our downtown business owners, is we have been doing upgrades on some of the roads that we anticipate will be used as local detours. The DOT, their official detours are state highways. There's federal and state laws that they can only use state highways for their detours, so they typically don't use local or county roads for that. But we know that here locally that the people that live here will be able to find their way around. So last year, you might recall, we upgraded Milwaukee Street. This year and next year, we're going to be doing work on 4th Street as well as East Jefferson, East South Street, some of those side roads that will serve as detours to get around the downtown.
All right, and that kind of ties into item 16, resolution 47, to enter into an agreement for street and utility construction on 4th Street, East South Street, and 5th Street. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that's basically our first bid that we've awarded for the year for our construction projects. And as I mentioned, we will be doing a section of 4th Street, starting from Main Street down to the bridge. So that'll really impact the library, the EMS. There's been talks of temporarily relocating the food pantry because it'll be difficult for people to get in and out of there. And the bid opening was basically to accept the bid to do the work on that project. Fisher Excavating is out of Freeport, Illinois. I don't believe they've done work in the city of Stoughton, but they have worked with our engineers in the past. And we were pleased to see that the first bid of the year came in under budget, which is encouraging. It's been kind of all over the board the last couple of years because of supply chain and labor issues. So hopefully the rest of them will come in at or below budget as well.
All right, sounds good. That's all we had for the council meeting for March 26th, 2024. We'll see you next time in April for Council Catch-Up. Have a great day.